Hey everybody, another day, another warranty or recall and replacement program for another defective Apple product. Imagine my surprise. But anyway, so this is actually a really interesting one, and I think that Apple actually does deserve a little bit of a thumbs up for this one because they're starting to do what many other people have suggested that they do in our earlier videos. I think that there is always room and opportunity for personal growth, and it seems like Tim Cook and the executives at Apple are starting to find a little bit of that in their heart, starting with this extended warranty, or I should call it recall and replacement program today. And I'll explain to you why it is I think that Apple is going through this little personal growth stage in a few. So, this is called a voluntary recall and replacement program. I'm going to be stressing the voluntary part in a few. It says, Apple today announced a voluntary recall of a limited number of older generation 15-inch MacBook Pro units which contain a battery that may overheat and pose a safety risk. The units were sold primarily between September 2015 and February 2017 and can be identified by their product serial number. And this is, as you can see here, the older Retina MacBook Pro that has the magnetic charging port and all of its ports on it. Now, this is interesting to me for a couple of reasons. The first is I have not encountered this ever besides one machine that was very clearly customer abused with one of the cheapest, crappiest knockoff chargers I've ever seen. I'm not used to seeing this at all. I get machines that have been stepped on. I get machines that have been tossed off balconies. I get machines that have been bashed by angry exes that are jealous. I've gotten machines that cats have pissed on. I get machines that people are encoding video on even when they know their fans don't work and they're still doing it and overheating the crap out of the machine. I get machines that are abused in all different type of ways. The worst thing that you ever see is the batteries start to expand, which is normal with lithium-ion batteries, except the way that Apple does it, because there's no hard case over the battery, it winds up expanding the entire computer. Again, Apple, but that's not something that you would expect to end up, overheating, expanding, exploding, or to get this type of warranty replacement or recall on 4 years after the purchase. This is not something that is normal. And I've reached out to other repair centers that also have high volumes of repairs, and nobody that I've spoken to has had anything like this come through their store. This is not a normal issue, so it's very interesting that Apple is covering it. The reason I say that it's interesting that Apple is doing this is because what they seem to have done here is we think there may be an issue with something in this product. Let us address that issue before the media notices it, before our customers notice it, before the lawyers that our customers are going to hire to sue us because we're not covering it notice it. And this is something that Apple typically does not do. People will often say, why is it that you don't criticize Samsung about the Note 7? Anytime I criticize the iPhone 6 or 7 flaws when it comes to Touch IC, baseband, or audio issues. Well, there's a good reason for it. Samsung released a phone that was a fucked up, stupid, bad design. And they realized a few months in, wow, we released a phone that's a really bad, crappy, awful design. Let's recall that. Let's not wait until we get sued. Let's not wait till we have thousands of customers showing up at our stores. Let's not wait for all this crap to happen. Let's just recall it. We're not going to spend months or years arguing and litigating the fact. We're going to recall this. We released a folding phone. Oh, wow, that folding phone's a total seeming pile of shit, which it is. Let's help the customers that spent money on that steaming pile of shit rather than litigate back and forth for 2 years until we finally release a program. This is a little bit different than the way that Apple does things. Apple screws up the same way that other companies are going to screw up, but when they screw up, they do not admit fault. So as we can see here, there was a class action lawsuit on the iPhone 6. Then they release an extended warranty program. And this is not even really an extended warranty program. It covers the 6 Plus, not the 6, and you have to pay $149. Here, when it comes to the 2011 GPU issues, there's several years of class action, several years of media coverage, and then finally, out of the goodness of their heart, 4 years later, they release an extended warranty program. With the keyboard issues, I mean, people have been talking about how bad that keyboard is since 2016, and they get a class action lawsuit on them, and then just recently, they release an extended warranty program. This is different. This is very different, and this is, again, personal growth. High five, Tim Cook. You actually did something good for a change, and I will commend you for it. What they did is they realized there may be a problem with the product that we sold at a high price to a luxury market, to people who believe they are buying a quality product that we have represented as a quality product too. There may be a flaw with that product, so we are going to take ownership of that flaw before you litigate. Voluntary. They voluntarily did this without having their arm twisted into it. And I think that's a really good thing. I think that's personal growth for Apple, and high five. And the only instance that I can find of this happening, ironically, is on Reddit, and I did comment on this. There was this one person who said, my MacBook Pro exploded, and burst into flames. And I think he's got a video of it or something like that here. Let's see. Yeah, he's got a video of his MacBook Pro bursting into flames. This looks like an A1398 over here from what I can see. I'm not exactly sure of the motherboard model in it, but it looks like an A1398 from the size and everything. And I did comment on that, and I said, I've never seen or heard of a case of this happening without someone opening the machine and stabbing the battery. No known issue, no known design flaw, no known defect. I imagine this is just some sort of freak of nature event. I feel bad for the original poster, but I can't imagine Apple being at fault for this, given the number of machines they produce that do not do this or have any history of doing this. I would definitely be interested in seeing it. That was my comment 23 days ago, and again, as much as I am going to say when I think that Apple has done something stupid, and as much as I dislike the way they treat their customers, and independent repair, given the fact that they have released operating system updates that have trashed like 5 figures of my inventory and all different types of stuff like that, I cannot simply lie and make up the fact that things just spontaneously combust when they don't. This is not a known issue. This is not a known defect. If this is happening, this is indeed happening to a very small percentage of users, a very small number, by the actual definition of very small, not Apple's typical horseshit definition of it. This is personal growth. They're fixing things before people notice that they're broken. At the end of the day, this is all it is that I'm advocating for. A, treat independent repair less like crap. B, treat your customer less like crap. Further, in addition to taking accountability and responsibility for when you mess something up, just treat your customer with the respect that they have earned and deserve for spending $3,000 in your product. They spend $3,000 on your product because they believe it is a top-of-the-line product and they are loyal to you. They did not go to some flea market and spend $75 on some used other cheap product. They spent $3,000 with you. And that means that they deserve not just that accountability and responsibility, but a little bit more than they would get from another company, not less. And here, they're showing that they do have the capability to do that. They do have it in their heart somewhere to actually treat their customers with the respect that they earned and deserved by spending their money on a top dollar product. That's what I'm asking for. That's really all it is that I'm asking for. And it is achievable. And what happened here today shows that it can be achieved, and that means that they can do it again and again and again. When they release something that they have made hundreds of billions of dollars of profit off of, all I'm asking is when you notice that that teeny tiny small percentage of people have an issue, fix it before 2 to 3 years of litigation back and forth. You can do it. I know you can do it. I have faith in you. Maybe someday. Maybe someday, Apple. When it comes to independent repair, you'll have faith in me. That's it for today. And as always, I hope you learned something.